I've been obsessed with not only video game collections, but also video game rooms. They're the heart and soul of video gaming comfort, and depending on the look and feel of it, it can alter your mood. For years I've had many past video game rooms, like in my old video when I discussed my past video game rooms from 2017 to early 2020. Link in description if you want to check that out for the sake of convenience for this video. And damn, I used to be so skinny back in the day. How did I go from a small tree stick to big chungus of all comparisons? Well, I guess that'll be explained for another time, but for now, I believe it's time to create another update video game room in the location I'm currently in, but before doing so, here's another look at my past video game rooms from late 2020 to late 2023. Consider this a part 2 video if you will. It's time to go on yet another journey through memory lane, and let's waste zero time and pick things up in late 2020 with my 2-unit apartment I used to live in. God, I love that unit. I always get that warm, fuzzy feeling of nostalgia when looking back at it. It's the place where I started to grow my independence and had no worries about filming content for reviews, top 10s, and discussion videos without someone knocking on my door telling me to keep it down. Great times. My lounge room was absolutely perfect for a video game room, as I had all the space in the world and plenty of objects and furniture were around, but also didn't feel too crowded. It was also cool showing off my retro consoles, accessories, my old whiteboard for writing things down to remember stuff, and of course showing off my PlayStation collection for when it started to slowly grow into what it is today. The only downside was the fact I had to remove the posters due to the request from the landlord. That's always a killjoy. And when trying to get the LED lights to transform my game room at night time, it didn't stick well for me and always fell, so I had no option but to get rid of it. Overall, I really love this room, and as the months went on by and heading into 2021, I made some additional changes, and here's the updated video game room. Or I should say video game rooms, because I decided to create 2 game rooms, one with a retro style game room while the other just a casual game room. The retro game room wasn't all that special, but I enjoyed it for what it was, an old school classic game room I remember having back as a child, and I ended up moving the PlayStation game collection into the retro room just to give it some life. I did use this room a fair bit for recording the camera, so at least this room was used to my advantage. And as for the casual game room, the major difference was this leather lounge I used for modern casual gaming. It was also the time that I spoiled myself and got my very own gaming PC. It was a much needed upgrade for me, and I said to myself that this purchase would be the last expensive product I'd buy for a while, and I made a promise to myself to always look after my PC. Yeah. 4 years later, and look how that's going. While I loved my previous game room, I really love this one even more, and again, everything worked out perfectly for me, and I then made a whole lot of changes and improvements throughout the entirety of 2021. But so, all good things must come to an end, as in early 2022, my lease was going to expire and I had to move out. My ex at the time offered me to stay at her family's home until we ended up getting a place for ourselves. I could have chosen to stay at my own family's home instead, but I really wanted to keep my independence going. And so I moved into my ex's family's home and I made the best out of the situation. It was a little cramped, but I could still make content, which was pretty good. I also updated my computer desk, which was a nice addition. A few months went by, and after putting ourselves on the rental market, we ended up getting accepted out of nowhere in renting a 4-bedroom house together, and this brings us to the next video game room. My game room was located in one of 2 lounges, and this was my biggest game room I ever had. So much space, so much to work around in, and so much natural light went into that room. It was just perfect for recording my camera, and seeing that sun rise in the morning and the light flowing into the room as I played Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach was just chef kisses all around. My retro consoles were still in their storage box, so I didn't get the opportunity to show them off. But I didn't mind at all. This was a video game room I really did enjoy. While my biggest regret is that I wish I could have used more camera work around that room, as during that time I wasn't using my camera as much as I wanted to. It didn't help that trying to get the internet connected was a massive chore, so anytime I wanted to upload a video, I had to drive to my family's house just to release a new video, or use my work's internet when I'm on a break. And the fact that this place was pretty expensive to rent, but thank God I was an assistant manager in my job at the time, otherwise I would have been scared to not making ends meet. And plus, to make things even more unfortunate, this was a 6-month lease, and after those 6 months went by and not getting our lease renewed, we ended up moving out and back into my ex's family's place once again. I will say, as much as I liked that game room, but I never had the chance to use it to my advantage, so now it's a distant memory to me every time I think about it. And so, the next game room in late 2022 and early 2023. I didn't have a proper game room at this stage, as this was kind of more of a game slash study slash spare room, and I'll admit, this is probably the worst game room I ever had. Much worse than that brief game room I had back in 2018. It was very cramped, not a whole lot of space to work around with, all thanks to this bed taking up half the room space. And what sucked is anytime guests were spending the night over, I had to give this room up so guests could sleep in that room. Nothing bad about that by any means, but it did delay video progression. The worst part about it was I could not display my video games as they were located in boxes and my furniture was in storage, which really sucked from my point of view. Not being able to show off my collection and seeing them in boxes was depressing to me. And to be honest, this room pretty much killed my enjoyment for making videos, which goes to show that an environment can really impact the video quality and the mood in general. Overall, I did not like this game room at all, and as much as I was trying to defend it at one point, I don't know why I did in the first place. I guess I was trying to look above the horizon, but ignoring the flaws in that room. I did have a cool thick moustache though, kinda similar to Chick Hicks, so that's something I guess. So as months went on by, it was around the time myself and my ex decided to end our relationship. Nothing horrible happened, just to let you be aware of that. We both just agreed to end things as we were both heading in different directions. And so, I ended up moving back in with my family, and with that said, here is the next and last video game room we'll be discussing. I had this room from late 2023 to early 2024, and honestly, I really needed this from a mental health perspective. I'll talk more about it in the future. And for longtime fans out there, this was the exact same game room I had all the way back in 2019, but much more of a better upgrade if I'm being honest. I was able to display my video games again, and hey, there's a spare fridge for easy access for snacks and drinks. A win-win combo if I do say so myself. But it didn't help that my self-confidence was declining, so I was using little to no camera work and not putting much effort into my videos, which was my own fault at the end of the day. But still, I did like this game room. It wasn't the best video game room, but a video game room I really needed in terms of comfort. And so, this concludes my part 2 of my past video game rooms, and now, here's some context to hype up the video game room tour of 2025. Towards the start of 2024, myself and my closest friend for 2 years back at the time started a relationship together, and we decided to move in together a couple of months later due to personal reasons. Yes, we're crazy for doing that, as we've been told a bunch of times, and yes, we don't give a shit. We moved into a small but yet a nice cozy home, and as far as the current video game room is concerned, that room tour will be released for when the time is right. And now fast forward to today, with the love of my life being my fiance and the mother to my beautiful baby son, I can confidently say that I am 100% happy with how everything is going, which is the most important aspect for making videos. But anyway, that's going to wrap up this video. I thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to leave a like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. My name is Justin Hurst, telling you to keep calm and keep playing video games.